Now we come to the portion of our program which is Rachel's airing of grievances. I have one grievance to air.
Just one?
Just one, I think, unless we come up with some others.
Okay.
And I've talked about it before. Here's the thing. Using the word undisputed. So when Francis won Saturday night, he was declared the undisputed, heavyweight champion of the world. The word undisputed is not necessary most of the time in the UFC. The reason, what I think happens is that the word undisputed does get used in boxing. And recently we've had some various different fighters who have accomplished and gotten this very, elusive title of being crowned undisputed champ. But in boxing, it's necessary because you can be a champ for the WBC, but there's 3 other alphabet organizations that also have champs. So if you want to be undisputed, you got to win the belts from all the champs, right? I'm explaining this correctly.
Well, to be undisputed in boxing, you have to win all 4 of the top belts from the major sanctioning organizations.
Yes. Boxing's title situation
is different, though.
Is different. It's confusing. It's completely, it's just, there's a lot going on. These terms are needed in boxing because it helps people understand, it's a really big deal. When Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fight, it's going to be a really big deal. It's going to crown an
first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis did it over 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Back over here in the UFC, well, yeah, Francis Ngannou was undisputed. He became undisputed. Well, then Stipe was also undisputed. They're undisputed because the UFC is its own organization. It's like this little bubble. You don't need to say the word undisputed 99% of the time.
Yeah, the only time that it does make sense to use from a logical perspective is when there's an interim champion, somebody that actually has an interim belt around their waist, and the regular champion, right? And then they meet to determine who is the undisputed champion in that weight class. That happens in the UFC, and I'm fine with that. I do know the reason they say undisputed. The reason they say undisputed is as a promotional tool because it sounds so important and big. That's the only reason they do it. I don't even know why. Why did they create interim title belts? It's because the same reason. Honestly, it's the same reason there are so many belts in boxing is because they think, hey, we can use this to promote, and it makes things seem more important.
It adds some drama. I get that. But it also adds some confusion, too. And I think that it's just completely unnecessary. And I don't like it. I just don't like it. And I would also say this about the interim, that usually when somebody has an interim title, isn't that always the adjective that, gets thrown in there? They're not just referred to as a champ. I remember when Gagey won the interim title and he himself, dropped it because he was like, I want the real title. Everybody knew this wasn't the title. This was the interim title. So I don't think it's necessary.
It's still an accomplishment, though. People.
It's
not like in boxing, if you have an interim title, nobody really considers that an accomplishment. In UFC, if you win an interim belt, the interim title in a division, that's a bigger thing because usually what's happened is that the champion can't fight for one reason or the other, and so it's essentially you are a champion.
Well, I get that, but I would also say in the UFC that then there are people in other weight classes who accomplish just as much but don't get an interim title because it's not just logistically necessary for them. So you talked about Leon Edwards, right? Well, he's accomplished a big thing, but he's not the title. You know what I'm saying?
He's not getting it right. Yeah.
So anyway, so I feel like it muddies things. And why muddy to the waters?
Why?
Boxing's already done that, guys.
It's already screwed up boxing. Don't go back to that.
Don't copy that. Be you. You're in your own little bubble. So I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, what are you saying? Like, you're undisputed, like, across all MMA?
Be
like,
the best, because that's not true, right? There's a Bellator champion, there's PFL champion, there's all sorts of MMA champions out there.
Yeah, and they have lots of great fighters. I mean, we just saw somebody, right? Michael Chandler, who came over in his first fight. Oh, that's my other grievance. Michael Chandler and getting the title shot.
Oh, because here's another. I mean, I have grievances with their ranking system. How are you putting the third and fourth ranked fighter
as a title fight?
Charles Oliveira. Now, both of these guys they definitely like deserve to be in the thing that crowns the champion. But how
ahead of Dustin Poirier?
Why? Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje are both 1 and 2. Why are these guys just frozen out of it for some reason? It seems like a rush job. Like you waited for Habib all this time, and now you're going to hurry up. Why the hurry? Why not just have these two guys fight? And if you want to have Dustin and Conor fight, like have a little tournament. I don't understand this at all. But at the same time, I understand wanting to have a champion. Michael Chandler looks like maybe he could be champion, but here's Rachel. If he becomes champion, you know how happy people in Bellator are going to be? Because Michael Chandler, he wasn't the sitting champion when he left. He had gotten beaten. They have a guy over there, Pitbull, who's the champ over there, and he's been talking a lot of noise. And if Michael Chandler becomes UFC lightweight champion, he's going to talk a lot more noise, and I think have a lot more people behind him in it.
Right.
So it's exciting. I think it's all like fun stuff, and people love this kind of like Bellator versus UFC stuff. They love that stuff.
But back to the UFC and rushing into having this title fight.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I like the idea. I think it adds some drama to have a vacant title holder
tournament.
in one of your weight classes, especially when it's a weight class that's full of so many people. I think that's what adds the drama. This just added the anger for me.
Well, you're a very particular type of person who, we have this. You're airing grievances now. I mean, this is a good place for you to air those grievances. It is like Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira is an awesome fight. I can't wait to see it. And Charles Oliveira, this guy's won a ton of fights in a row. He's in a division with all sorts of big superstars, so he doesn't get the fights that he probably deserves. Mm-hmm. So in a way, I'm not too upset that this guy's getting a title shot because he definitely deserves it.
Yeah. I think I would have liked to see Dustin Poirier get the title shot.
Yeah, and they're saying that, we said you could do this or this. You could fight Conor again or get the title shot. And of course he's going to pick Conor. He shouldn't have to make that choice. That's not just because you give somebody an arbitrary choice doesn't mean that they chose that. UFC is the one that chose it.
A truckload of money? Or why can't I have
just
both
wait?
Those
just
things?
Have both. You could even have those two same fights, and then make the winners fight each other.
Yeah, because that rematch could be part of a mini tournament.
I
anyway.
just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. They should call me and ask me my opinions. I don't understand why they don't.
I don't know. I will say it seems like as if the UFC's done pretty well without the help of Rachel and Kelsey.
So far, they're doing okay. I guess it'll be fine for a while. For a while. They'll probably want to hit us up later.
So these are just my opinions. And that's all that they are.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. We love you, best fight friends. So we will talk to you
This is also
again.
me looking at you.